This video, we are going to go through some the different types of organization, mainly five of them, uh, from government to corporate to startups and social enterprises. What are the differences and which one is most suitable for you? We start with government jobs. In the past, maybe your parents' generation, they would feel that government jobs are very stable. You are unlikely to get fired for no reason unless maybe you have some disciplinary issues. Uh, from my personal experience, because of changes in policies, your departments might close suddenly. That was what happened to one of the department that I joined. Uh, During the interview, they supposedly told us that it is a pilot project and the department might end in 2 years' time, but many of us didn't remember that part during the interview. So when it was time to shut the department, most of us were at a loss. We did not know what to do, and we have to apply for other positions within the same organization or other uh, government ministries, and we have to go through interview process, submit your resume all over again. So nowadays doesn't mean government jobs means they are not affected by trends in economy or uh, changes in policies. The stability from government jobs come from the fact that they do not chase profits. So uh, if you join a private company and their business is not doing well, then you might be retrenched. As what you see in a lot of the IT sectors, or maybe they have restructured their organization, so they might have to lay off some people. It is not as prone to that, but still, it is no longer always very stable. So just take note. Then for government jobs, there are two main kinds, either the ministries or the statutory boards. So ministries are, example, Ministry of Social and Family Development, Ministry of Trade and Industry. Then statutory boards are places that are under the ministry's uh, branch, but they have their own individual way of running things. The pay structure might be different. The salary benefits might be different for ministries and statutory boards. I have joined both ministry and statutory boards before, and the welfare for statutory boards is a little bit more relaxed, I feel, based on me and the people that I know from other statutory boards compared to ministries. So one thing about the government pay is every middle of the year or end of the year, depending on how well Singapore's economy is doing, you might hear of civil servants or public servants receiving bonuses. Yeah, so these are additional payments in your salary that private sector may not enjoy. Private sector, they have their other benefits, which we will go through later. Okay, for private sector, this means that the companies or businesses are owned by either big corporations or small business owners, entrepreneurs, enterprises, so which are not related to the government. Some of them maybe they might have some partnership, for example, Temasek Holdings, but they are usually uh, they work the employees work to earn profits for the company to help them keep the revenue, to keep the capital and cost low, and to increase revenue, expand their profit margins. So these are terms you might commonly hear of if you work in a company that are private, like banks, or like IT companies. Then the good thing about private sector is usually the pay it, it is high. It can be higher than government jobs based on how well the company is doing. But as we mentioned earlier, they are susceptible to economic trends. So like you see COVID-19 pandemic, they affected banks and the aerospace industry quite badly. While government jobs, they are more immune to that in a sense. Then for private sector, they some of their annual leaves might be different from government jobs, which are quite standard. The pay structure for private sector is also different from government. Government usually they'll look at your educational qualifications. Usually they prefer those who graduate from Singapore's universities, not the private universities. Usually, government sector also prefer hiring Singaporeans and PRs. Very seldom you will hear of foreigners being hired in the government sector unless maybe contract jobs. For private sector, there is no such restriction. Sometimes the government may impose a foreigner hiring quota, but they will still need to hire a certain amount of locals before they can hire foreigners to protect locals for the jobs. So private sector can be influenced by government policies, and um, some companies, for government, you know that your pay is tied to your education qualifications, your work experience, your leadership potential, for example. Private sector, it is hard to gauge whether they are paying you the market rate. So you yourself have to be quite savvy, do your market research before you accept the pay from private companies. Government jobs, they won't con you or they won't scam you in that sense. But private sectors, again, they are driven by profits. So of course, to keep costs low, they might also keep employees' wages low in that sense. Yeah, so you have to be more careful when negotiating your employment contract with private companies. Okay, then NGOs or NPOs, they are usually non-government related, non-profit. So this means that unlike businesses or the private sector, the MNCs, these companies could be charity or social service uh, driven. So they provide a service to benefit the disadvantaged in society. Most of them they are run by donations, maybe from big corporate sector who donates to them, or public donations, sometimes with some government funding. So usually the salaries for employers working in these companies, they are not very high, but of course they will still pay you enough to justify your work so that they can attract talent and manpower. For employees who want, or for those of you who want to work in non-government, non-corporate sector, you are usually driven by a passion and a purpose to want to serve, to help others. So when you join these companies, don't expect too much pay. You can be rewarded through other means, through helping people, through your contributions to society. Okay, then social enterprises, they are considered private most of the time. Sometimes there might be government funding, and uh, how are they different from private sector is that usually their business model is to help a social cause. Can be environmental related, can be like to help the community in general. So they have to come up with their own business fundings or their methods to earn money so that they can sustain the social causes that they are advocating for. Then finally, we have startups. Uh, how is startups different from social enterprises? Social enterprises, they want to help people. They want to help society or the community. Startups may not, or usually they do not have this social cause. They are usually started by young entrepreneurs, and they are driven by technology and innovation. So they usually have to come up with very unique products to attract funding or to attract investors to help them, give them enough capital to run their businesses. So if you some people like to join startups because maybe they have some work experience, then they feel that they can contribute to this innovative product that they are envisioning to create. So they help to build up the startup. Then when the startup is kind of stabilized, then you can choose to leave or you can choose to continue with them. Social enterprises is more about improving society in general. Startups may or may not improve society. So that's the main difference.